Guess what? It's another Throwing Bagels podcast. Kevin Mooney here with you alongside Jason Habo and Chris Douglas. Hello, guys.
Hello there. How are you?
I am good. How about you?
I'm doing well. Doing well.
Yep. We never do ask Kevin with this new open how he's doing anymore.
We're just like, we just go.
Run. We just run. That's it.
So, we recently hit our 100th episode, and we're going to start a whole new set of 100 podcasts with this very episode. How about that? 101.
Sounds good.
Whoa.
In the books. That is
Fancy.
something, man.
We're so fancy.
Wow. And I you know what? I can't think of a better guest to welcome into this edition of the Throwing Bagels podcast than I don't know.
Sounds weird. It's going to sound very
head
weird.
coach. It's weird. It's too weird. You know what we're going to do? Head coach emeritus of the SUNY Oswego men's ice hockey team. It's our great pleasure to welcome in Ed Gosek. Hey, coach.
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me as usual. And I'm not sure if that's an honor or that means I've been around too long. Show 101. So congrats to you guys on making it this far and having a loyal following, I know. So, no, I'm grateful for you guys and all you've done for our program and myself personally. And no, it's an honor to join your show. And I am, however that goes, professor emeritus or coaching emeritus. I like that.
I think
Sounds
it works.
good. It has a good ring to it.
Yeah.
Officially not till August 1st, but
okay.
But no, it's still all good, and whatever I can do for you guys in the future, guest commentator or old codger or whatever, I'd be glad to give you my thoughts on the coaching world or the ice hockey world and collegiate hockey.
Sounds good.
We're going to take you up on that offer, guy. You're going to regret saying that, but we will have you back on at some point, I'm sure. But coach, first off, recently the news came out just a couple of weeks or so ago that you were retiring as head coach of the Laker program. How did that? And first off, and we're going to say this first of many times, but congratulations,
yes,
on your retirement. And on a fantastic career. So how did that decision to retire come about?
Well, first of all, thank you for the kind words. No, not that I was going to tell you on the air last time we did the podcast or really anyone else other than I really didn't even share with my family or loved ones until I was sure. But going into the year, I felt pretty strongly that this would be it, right or wrong. I didn't want it to be a distraction to the team or what we had going on this year. I totally respect the coaches that do announce it going into their final year, but for me personally, I didn't want the distraction of it to be on myself instead of the team and what we were trying to accomplish this year.
You didn't want the farewell tour?
I didn't, but you know what? My good friend, as you guys know, George Roll, he announced it before. My friend Mike Schaefer at Cornell, he announced it before. And just Bobby Daniels at Ferris State, he waited till about halfway through, and all guys that I'm friends with and respect. And I just thought for me and for our program that I would wait till the end of the year. End of the year with the tough loss at Hobart, that the timing wasn't right there. You're in the aftermath of your season and everything that you put into it. That wasn't right. The senior banquet, honoring our seniors and our award winners, that's about them. And so I really had it kind of in my head that before the players went home so that I could personally talk with them. And I wanted to do it early enough before finals where it wasn't just some additional thing weighing on them. So the timing was right, end of April, to let them know I have my health. I have two new grandchildren, and
Congratulations.
my own. Yeah, thank you. My own children, as any coach, is wife and children sacrifice. I was probably my work-life balance wasn't in order back then, when I first got the job, and in trying to prove that I could be a good coach and I could uphold the standards of the history of our program. So now I have time with my health to spend it with my grandchildren and my own kids, and not that I'll ever make up for the time that was lost, but to spend some quality time with them. And no, the college was very understanding, so it wasn't. I had to leave on bad terms or whatever. I was able to leave on my own terms, and also to, I don't know, ensure is the right word, but do what I could to make sure that Coach Whitelaw got the opportunity to lead the program after me. So no regrets. All is good. And that's what really in the decision, there's many factors, but just the landscape of college athletics is changing in a big way, with the portal, with NIL, with everything else that's going on. And it's you have to be able to adapt. And I don't want to say you have to be more ruthless, but if you really want to succeed with what we're after, which is qualifying for the NCAA tournament each year, that's our standard, then, the landscape has changed on how you have to go about that, unless you are really a coach that's mistake-free, where you don't make recruiting mistakes, and you have the tools to be very good with your recruiting. It's not apples for apples anymore. And people could say, well, he's spoiled. He had a better rink than most people. He had the support of his college, and that is true. But now it is all changed with finances. And I'm very comfortable saying that the teams with the best packages right now are going to be the teams that are going to be most successful. That's no discredit to their coaches. Their colleges have made a commitment to doing that. And but that's the landscape in which college athletics has gone, and that's the way it's going to be for a while, for the time being.
Do you feel that's it's gonna benefit more private schools than public colleges? Like a SUNY versus like a Hobart per se?
Well, in the past, state schools, as you know, with anybody that wanted their kid to go to college, state schools were a very good alternative financially to the privates. But now, the privates that have made a commitment, it would be one thing if you were talking a few $1,000s, and I don't want to get into all the details, but if you're talking a few $1,000s, you could usually talk them into the experience that they are going to have, the quality of the situation, the way that they're treated, the rink that they play in, your equipment budget, your travel budget, all of those things, along with, most importantly, getting a quality education. But when you're talking large sums difference, then honestly, I can't blame the parents. I don't blame the student athlete. But the playing field is as is in Division One. People could say, "Oh, how does it affect you at Division Three?" But no, believe me, I see the numbers. Kids are willing to share and show what their packages are, and it's not a fault of our school or any other state school. The reality of, some of the privates being able to offer unbelievable financial packages, it's certainly going to change the landscape of Division III athletics.
Overall, what has been the reaction from the Lakers community when they heard that that you were stepping down and retiring?
I think it's bittersweet. I just came from a bar in Oswego. To let you know, full disclosure, no, I'm not intoxicated, but I had a few beverages. Um, I knew this bar existed, and Avery's Oak Hill Tavern. And there were a group of older gentlemen that have followed our program for years, and they meet at 3 o'clock on Mondays at Avery's Oak Hill Tavern and asked if I could come over. And so I did. But no, I think it's bittersweet for a lot of people. The end of an era, whatever you want to say, change is good. Coach Whitelaw is certainly ready. But no, to anybody listening that I have not answered yet, I got my text messages down from, I don't know, over 300 down to about 150, and then it builds back up again. So anybody that I haven't answered, I will answer all of you. And the same way with the emails. I'm very humbled and honored and grateful, and I will get to answer all of them. Most of them are very happy for me and wish me nothing but the best. A lot of my alums, our alums, back from the first year, I was an assistant with Don Unger, 89, 90. We made the NCAA tournament. I remember it vividly, and going to Babson and losing there. But a lot of those guys, a lot of all the players, but it was awfully nice to hear from them since it was my first class as an assistant. But people have been great. But no, it's makes me realize how fortunate I was to have such a group of loyal college students, alumni, players, community people that are involved with the program. So credit to you guys also for all your support. And no, it's like I couldn't think of honestly anywhere else I'd rather coach and be part of something special. It wasn't ever a job. It was, I always felt myself, as I've shared with you guys before, more of the caretaker of the program to try to keep it in a good place and leave it as good or better than when I took over in 2003 from Coach Roll. It was a totally, different transition. Him, and myself knowing that he was leaving to go to Clarkson before we played in that national semifinal game against Middlebury, and then in the national championship game, losing to Norwich 2-1, where he had to go in afterwards with, very high emotions of losing the game, and then to tell the team that, that was his last game. So my situation, again, waiting, I knew how hard that was for him in the locker room, but he was starting at Clarkson the very next day. Quite frankly, he left Norwich and drove right to Clarkson, to Potsdam, and I think he had time to get a haircut and meet the press the next day. So,
Wow.
I clearly remember that back in 2003, and so everything's a little bit different, but no, a lot of well-wishers, too many to speak, just, everyone from our college, just, it's been very heartfelt, and I'm grateful and blessed.
You had mentioned some of the reasons that you came to the decision to retire. Was there any one particular reason that you decided to retire? And has anyone told you or given you any advice about retiring?
No, two very good questions. No, I don't think it was one thing. I knew, you watch other coaches that I don't want to say, in my opinion, have hung on too long. And I'm not sure the game passes them by because I feel, with experience comes knowledge, but the ability to, relate. And not that I thought I was irrelevant with how I approached the team or the players, but times have certainly changed. I don't believe that if you want to be successful, that our culture or the way in which we handle those situations changes. I think you still have to have good people that put the program in front of their own self, personal gains. But I think I don't think it was one particular thing. I'm like, okay, there's never a good time to retire. Chris, I'm 65. I have my health, all those things that I mentioned. I thought that the team was in a good place. There's a great group of returners for Coach Whitelaw to have success. And not that he wouldn't, but I just, all those things combined, it just seemed like the time was right. As far as advice from a lot of people, I had a lot of interesting phone calls early where, I'm not sure. One was, okay, people worried that I didn't have my health and that it was something health driven, which isn't the case. And then the second one was, and then people, are you looking to coach? Are you looking to scout? Would you be interested in going overseas? Or, and so I wasn't ready for that. I didn't think, it would be that quick where people were not giving you a job interview, but wondering if you wanted to continue, that there were opportunities there. But probably the best advice from a lot of people was be patient and don't make any rash decisions and think things through. And, right now that's the plan, just to take a deep breath here and decompress and make sure I'm technically on until August 1st, and making sure that I reach out to all our alumni and our booster club members, our season ticket holders, all those that have helped me along the way, to make sure that everything's in place. The schedule's set, the budget is pretty well set, but just making sure that things are in a good place for Coach Whitelaw to I can't even say step in. He's done an amazing job and has taken a lot of the heavy lifting off of my shoulders, and I'm grateful for that. He'll do a great job. There's no doubt in my mind. But I don't know. Do you have something else to offer me besides what I said?
Well, hey, guest co-host, I think, is not bad.
Okay,
right?
well, I don't know, guess, but occasionally I'll be glad to give you my 2 cents on the college hockey world. Sure.
We did want to talk a little bit about Coach Whitelaw in a moment, but at the moment, Coach, if you could put your coaching hat back on for a second. So the Lakers finished the season 19-7-2. Second place in the SUNY, fell to the Hobart in the SUNY championship game. What are some of your thoughts as you look back on that last season, in your coaching career?
Well, there's always the what could have we done different? As I said to some other people, interviewers, if you win a game, it's okay, what could have we done better? Or what line combinations or D pairings or goaltending, or what lineup system changes. When you lose, you have the same questions, but then, okay, were we tough enough during the week? Were we hard enough in practice? Did we do enough video? Did we have enough individual meetings? And honestly, many times I found ourselves improving more when you're coming off of a loss than when you're coming off of a successful weekend. Very difficult to be hard on guys when things have gone well. Much easier to be harder, at least myself, um, when things didn't go as well. But as far as certain specifics that I would change, things that I've always prided ourselves on is that we would be conditioning wise. No one, maybe they would be equal, but no one was going to be in better shape than we were, or better conditioning, or better in the weight room. The second thing would be discipline, which for the most part, I really felt we were, the things that we could control, and that our team was going to have a thorough understanding of our systems and how we wanted to play. I can't say that those areas were unsuccessful. I think they were. The intangibles of how much time on certain things and improving ourselves defensively. I'm not sure who's listening, but I would just say it usually comes down to, even you watch these NHL games, yes, you have to score, but it still usually comes down to the team that's playing the best defensively and is getting the hot goalie at the right time. I look at Montreal last night, and you look at Carolina, and you look at the other teams that are having success, and it's usually their defense and goaltending that are making the big changes, in the outcome of the game.
So it's been put out there, obviously, that John Whitelaw is going to be who was your assistant coach, is now going to be the interim head coach of the team. And we just found out today that he named Danny Colabufo, who was a graduate assistant this past season. He's going to be the assistant coach. What can the players and fans expect to see from, first of all, John Whitelaw as the coach and Danny Colabufo as an assistant?
Well, everybody has their own way. I know with me, having two mentors in Don Unger and George Roll, I took bits and pieces from both of their philosophies and coaching styles. And, not that it'll take Whitey 5 years, but honestly, I felt that it was truly 4 to 5 years before I really understood how it was that I wanted our teams to play. You can be all over the board with, other successful programs and how they're playing, but do you have that type of talent, and do you have that mentality? And do the players have that mentality to make that successful? So, my guess would be we've talked about it, many, many hours, and I wouldn't see any major changes. I don't think the way in which we approached it wasn't like it was all had to be my way. I think early on, I know I've shared this with you before, I think until you gain confidence in what you're doing, you're trying to prove your way is the best way. And then you realize later on, try to surround yourself with people that know more than you or have a different opinion than you. And as I would always say to my assistants, make me sharpen my pencil to justify why it is that we're practicing a certain way, or our systems are a certain way, or who's playing and what are our combinations. You need people that aren't just yes men, that, make you a better coach, that make you justify and reason and think about things. And, without analysis from paralysis, doing things in an intelligent way. I think Whitey and Danny, both alumni, they're a great fit. I obviously endorsed Whitey 100%, and and felt very strongly about Danny. Our staff is very strong. Any of them are capable, but to have a young guy that's hungry, eager, and again is I say to them all the time, and they're probably sick of me bringing this up to them, but make every decision with what is best for the program long term. Sometimes there's some short-term decisions that have to be made, but everything long-term with how you recruit, the culture, the character of the players, the booster club, the community, the college community, the professors, the administration of our college, that it's all, you'd hate to think this way because I never thought the day would come for me to say that I'm done, but you make all these decisions in the best interest of the program.
Are you surprised at all that he did go with a younger assistant, since he's a somewhat younger head coach? Are you surprised that maybe he didn't go with someone who's been around a little longer to kind of mentor him, help him along the way a little bit?
Well, he knows I'm always there. Not that he wants to reach out, and not that I don't think I should have my distance. Absolutely, But no, I actually the opposite. I think, they think the game differently. They know the players, and it'll be a little hard for Danny. Some of the guys he had played with, but no, you need that. In my opinion, you need that youthful energy. You need someone that understands where the players are coming from. Times have certainly changed. They're not listening to Led Zeppelin or the things that, we had in our growing days. The times have changed with all of them, but no, I think Danny is an excellent choice. He comes from a great coaching pedigree. His dad, Frank, being the longtime coach at West Genesee High School, and just they get it, right? How you treat people, how you put everything together. And they also understand that it's not a 9 to 5 job, that it's 24/7. You're there for the players personally. You're there for the college personally. You're there for it professionally, wanting the team to do well. You're there all the time with recruiting. You're there all the time for the booster club, which is, a huge part of our success, and allowing us to do extra things within the rules of the NCAA that can help separate our program from other D3 programs. So all of those things, you got to have great people under you, and Whitey and Danny, they have that support of a lot of good people, especially our alums. I know the amount of alums that have reached out to me, full endorsement of Whitey and giving him the opportunity the same way that the college gave me an opportunity back in 2003. So I know it's interim. That's a way to, sidestep having to do a national search. John was certainly deserving of that opportunity. And so I'm grateful to the college, as I know he is. And when you're an alum, it's more than just a job, right? You don't want to let any of the alums down, the community down, the college down. And so I know Whitey has all those qualities to make the program, as good or better than where it's at.
And one more question about Coach D. As far as recruiting goes, have you, I don't know if you've heard anything, but guys that maybe you were starting to recruit before you left, do you think that they're going to come anyway? I know there was 1 or 2 signings I had seen that were mentioned. Do you think those guys are still going to come now that did they know ahead of time that John was going to take over as coach?
Well, they didn't know ahead of time, but no. And there's more than the 2, just some of them from the portal and with things still they're looking for something D1 that have given us, their gentleman's agreement that they'll be coming to Oswego. If a scholarship opportunity doesn't present itself. So it's a very good class. Whitey's worked extremely hard in making sure that everything is in place to fill our needs. But to answer your question, no. And again, I know some people look at it differently, that you're going to play for this coach and what is his style and personality and so forth. And I think Whitey, for the most part, there won't be a lot of change with a lot of those things, but you're coming to play for a program and what you represent here at our school. And yes, the coach's style certainly plays into it, on how you want to play and does that benefit the individual student athlete. But I think once they realize, everybody says, we want to play an up-tempo game. We want to play fast. We want to be good defensively. We want to allow you offensive creativity. You're going to get what you deserve. Be mindful of any coach that promises you power play without even having one day on the ice with you, which is the things that we believe in. I think people understand, the parents understood what they were getting with our program, that their son was going to be treated the same way I'd want my own son or daughter to be treated. They're going to be given an opportunity to prove how they can help us. And if they're not ready to help us, what do they have to do to improve and have a good experience so that they want to stay at our program? We weren't in the business of shuffling people in and out. And I would say, let anyone look up the number that have left or, have been forced out, and, you won't find them. So unless it was something off the ice where their personality off the ice didn't mesh with what it is that we're trying to achieve here.
So, Coach, you had mentioned earlier you'd be spending some time with the family and the grandkids and all that. Do you have any other plans? Are you going to do some fishing, maybe get out on a boat or something like that, do a little traveling?
You and Coach Roll?
Yeah. Well, we always said, I'm not big into fishing, but I could drive the boat and I can stock the cooler. And so George would always say, okay, I'll get the hooks and bait the hooks and take the fish off. But no, I've been very blessed. As I've mentioned her before, not sure you call her a girlfriend at 65 years old, but my girlfriend Teresa, she has a place down in Hilton Head, South Carolina, which I've gotten to visit a few times. And Chris, you're asking the harder questions. I'm going to go buy a fishing pole. As I've said, I live right on the lake, just down from the college on the way to Rudy's there. And I don't own a fishing pole, but I'm going to go buy one and get a license. And I golf, but I don't belong to, the country club, or I'm not in any leagues or anything. Teresa, to my advantage, also owns a Harley Davidson. I do enjoy that. Taking the bike out just around town, nothing too crazy, so that not getting wiped out by a deer or whatever. But we enjoy that. And a boat, I had a boat a long time ago with my brother, and we got rid of it because felt like you always, the weather in Oswego. It's if it's sunny, sometimes the wind's 50 miles an hour, so you can't go on the water even if you wanted to. And but that's something I think I would revisit, a boat, something like that. But no, right now that's it. Maybe give back locally to back where I started in minor hockey and the little kids, and maybe help coaches out that way. And kids, I've had a lot, but I've had enough offers about, am I interested in getting back involved in coaching? And right now, if I was going to stay in it full time, I would have kept going at Oswego. But right now, I'll let the chips fly here and let things settle down and see what retirement life is like. I've spent 36 years here in an ice box, and Romney was certainly more punishing than the campus center. But one of our guys that's analytics guru, I don't know if you saw it, but he went through my career as an assistant and as a head coach, and I don't, I might be off a little bit, but he gave me the stats of 422 away games, bus trips, and 80, 86 or 88,000 miles in a bus, enough to go around the earth 3.5 times. So I will not miss the bus trips.
So you'll be sleeping in a few times a week, I'm sure.
I'm not a big sleeper inner, but I will not miss the bus trips. I can tell you that for sure. And no, had I hung on, I think I would have been driving myself to the away games.
I sense the country club giving over a membership for you sometime soon. I feel like.
Well, it's funny, whatever, 7 athletic directors since I've been the head coach, but a lot of them felt that was an important thing to belong, not for my golf game, but just for our booster club and for sponsorship and donating and so forth. And it was, during those times. And then, my wife, Mary, got ill. That wasn't a time to be, any extra time doing those things. But no, it's not that I don't enjoy it. I'm not very good at it, but like anything, you gotta practice to get halfway decent, and not sure what halfway decent means, but the camaraderie and friendship, I'm sure I would enjoy that.
And I think, if you would prefer to spend January, February in Hilton Head, we don't blame you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Right.
Well, I told Whitey I'll be here early on, but January, February,
Yeah.
no, I won't miss that part of it. Like the early up, that's never been an issue with me. I don't mind that, but getting up, brushing the car off, trudging through the snow.
Yeah.
You guys are all,
Oh, yeah.
it's not enjoyable. And I don't care what anybody says. I can't believe anybody enjoys that part of living in upstate New York, or the winds blowing off the lake.
Yeah.
So anyhow, yeah, maybe we'll do a podcast next January from down there, and as I'm watching the game on the internet. Yeah.
There you go.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll do like a Manning cast. We
Like
got to
a
set
watching
that up.
party.
We'll have, that's right. We'll all watch.
Well,
the
you
game
guys are
together.
able to come sit in and live from the Dunes house in Hilton Head. I don't know the owner, but I'm sure I could meet him and say, "Hey, can we do a podcast here overlooking the ocean?"
There you go.
Perfect.
That warm air coming off the ocean.
That's
Way
right.
better
Yeah.
than that cold air coming off the lake.
Well, I'm sure you guys would enjoy a few adult beverages also. So doing the show.
I don't know what you're talking about, Coach.
Well,
It's all good. You deserve it.
well, thank you, Coach. And as now you look back, I mean, like you said, you've been an assistant coach and then a head coach with the Lakers since the late 80s, early 90s. What do you think of? Like, what are some final thoughts you have when you look back on the career that you've had?
Well, I got to come up with some other words here. I keep using the words, grateful, blessed, thankful. Coach Unger giving me an opportunity to come in as an assistant coach. And oh God, you want to, so I can feel like where you were mentioning earlier, Danny Colabufo. it's an unbelievable feeling. And like, wow, this guy's going to give me an opportunity. And I was all in, and I know Danny's all in, right? As is Whitey. But final thoughts on those things, it might seem odd, but back then, preseason workouts, where all these rules weren't in place with how much time you could spend with guys, um, breaking the team up into groups, groups of four, and the compressors being turned on at Romney and meeting the guys there at 10 at night or 2 in the morning with the fire hose out on the rink, flooding the rink back before you had maintenance people doing it, flooding the ice, painting the lines. Um, I know it doesn't sound like a great experience, but pushing the laundry bed from Romney over to, the laundry room at Laker Hall. You guys that have been there, you go out the back door, push it through a snow
Oh my
bank
God.
to get onto the sidewalk or down the road if the sidewalks weren't shoveled, and into the laundry room. And I know that sounds crazy. Sitting in the room at Romney Fieldhouse back before really computers were the thing, and on the phone for hours after practice every day, calling kids, calling coaches, calling the managers of teams, and the Ontario Junior League, the North American League back then, which was very small, the Ottawa League. It's all changed, obviously, but those memories and the friendships of all the people that you meet recruiting, our players, obviously, our parents, just so many. I have not added that up over the last 36 years, how many different players have come through our program, and how many parents and brothers and sisters and grandparents that you meet, that now most of them that you can call friends. Moments on the ice with Don Unger and George Roll, so many meaningful games. And, for myself also, the Frozen Fours, the league championships, the national championship. But I told some other people, honestly, the game that sticks out though, it was petrifying. It was terrifying. The very first game in the campus center, against Utica. Every dignitary, every donor that made a contribution, everybody from the college, the community, you can ask any of the players on that team, but I told them we can go 1-24 this year, but this game, we have to find a way to win. And lo and behold, you end up winning the national championship that year. But, and a storybook season of, build it and they will come, and everything worked out. Unbelievable. But the last game, knowing it was my last game at Hobart, I felt I controlled my emotions after the game, talking to the team, not telling them about my personal decision, but just talking to them about how proud I was of the job that they did and doing things the right way, and grateful for the sacrifice that they made this year. And our staff, I've been so blessed with great assistants. I don't know if I can name them all. I'll forget someone, but just, this year's staff with Whitey and Mike Gray and Danny and Bobby Chattel, our trainer, Elise. Just very grateful for all of them. And, obviously Coach Digby was with me for a long time, and Joe Cardarelli now at Cortland, and, Kyle Laughlin, Danny Ford, Tierney, who am I forgetting? Just a whole group of them, right? That's, I hate to go down that path because I'll forget someone, but it wouldn't happen without them. They're unbelievably committed for the same reasons that I was, and that's what made it work, and that's what made it enjoyable. They are willing to sacrifice their own personal lives and other things finances to help our program. And that's anytime that you have people that are willing to do that, no different than the show you're putting on tonight, because you love it and you want to get the word out from a lot of people on what they do and why they do it. I said to you guys, I am grateful what you guys do in helping our program as alums. It's awesome. So keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks, Coach. We enjoy it. So
We do, and we're grateful that you've been able to lead this program to where it's been. It's one of the best programs in the country, and you've had a lot to do with that. So
Yeah,
we're not saying that we don't want John Whitelaw to win a national championship, but you're the only one right now, Coach.
Well, the pressure's on him, and
that's right.
listen, he gets it, right? You guys get it. It's with our school. It's Oswego is a hockey town. The history, the tradition, the culture. We joke about the weather, but it gives people a reason to get out. It gives our students a reason to get out. And I know times have changed with, since COVID, but I don't want to say those are excuses. You have to find a way, everyone, to get people back involved, get out of their dorm rooms, get out of their homes. I know there's a zillion options out there for people to do nowadays, but nothing better than rooting on your hometown team and supporting the players. I can speak for every one of our alums and our present players, having the great crowds that we do, it makes a huge difference. And you're at an advantage, and the players don't want to let down the crowd. So, keep that going. Whitey, there's no doubt in my mind, it's not, he's on top of all the X's and O's. It's not that. And he will have great personal relationships with the players and the alums and Booster Club, Blue Line Club people. There's no doubt in my mind he's going to do an outstanding job.
Coach, thank you so much for being with us. And once again, congratulations, and we'll see you in Hilton Head.
Hey, all right. We're talking. I'm sure we'll see you. We'll see you in the snow also. But again, thank all of you for everything that you do, and made these very enjoyable, and sharing our message of what it is that we're trying to do and accomplish at the college by giving the inside story. So you guys will always be first. Great breaking news that's going to go on. You guys are certainly deserving of getting that news or information first.
And I mean, again, it seems weird to say former head coach. We're going to go with head coach emeritus of the SUNY Oswego men's ice hockey team, the one and only Ed Gosek. And I know Coach was part of a big push behind retiring Pete Sears as number one this season. I think number 427 should be the next number retired. And that is, of course, the career win total of Coach Gosek. So we would love to see.
That'd be pretty cool.
I mean, if anyone's listening that can make that happen, number 427 in the rafters at some point, maybe next year.
Yeah.
How about that?
We're talking to you, athletic department.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I was thinking while we were talking to Coach? Popped into my head. We should do the school needs to do some sort of like an old timers day, right? Like for hockey, get Coach Roll to coach one team, get Coach Gosek to coach another team. When we could field, I mean, obviously you can field two teams, of players. I mean, that would be pretty cool.
We're talking to you, athletic department.
These ideas, they just keep coming, people. They just keep coming.
And then the alumni call play-by-play.
Exactly. And that was obviously the other part.
Yes, of course. I mean, why else will we even mention it? I'd be between the glass on the benches.
That's right. Rinkside. Yep.
Yeah. See, it's all coming together. Look at that.
Oh, look at that. See that? Man, We're gonna have to increase our budget though to accommodate
right.
some wireless microphones.
I mean, that's what the radio station's for.
Oh,
WNYL,
yeah, that's right.
we're
That's
talking to
true.
you.
We're going to borrow it. Listen,
Yeah,
we paid for that
borrow.
crap anyway. So
Exactly.
Yeah, we did. True.
I put
True
my
that.
time in. Come on.
That's right. Well, I think that'll do it for this. Man, I can't believe that. That's going to be so weird
crazy.
not seeing Coach behind the
it is going to be
bench
weird.
next year.
Yeah,
But
it's going to be very weird.
we do. I mean, we hope to chat with Coach Whitelaw in the very near future, and I think the program's in good hands.
Do you think he'll let us call him Whitey?
Whitey, I don't know.
I also, how
We'll
odd
clear
is
it
it going to
with
be to
him.
have a coach, talk to the head coach who's basically around your age?
I know.
I think he's a little younger than we are, but still.
Yeah.
I mean, Coach Digby is basically our age. He's like
Yes.
right
I know,
there.
that's true.
Yeah,
That's
it's,
true.
it's interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Well, throwingbagels.com is our website. We got our socials there. Throwing Bagels Podcast at gmail.com is our email address. It's all there. Go ahead. Give us a shout, and thanks for listening. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.